Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and today I'm joined by Rory Jennings. Obviously, you might know him from the kicker, and a 100% charity.
Anthony, how dare you? I was never on 100% Chelsea. Unbelievable. Starters, you mean to go on? You've obviously done your research.
Great fucking start. Great start.
There we go. Starters, we mean to go on. Yeah.
I swear I saw you. I swear I saw you on there a couple of times.
You think no, that wasn't me. That was a guy called Lewis. I cannot believe that. I tell you what, it's unacceptable. If you edit this out to try and get away with this, this needs to be in the video.
No, in all seriousness, my apologies. You were on a charity gala at some point, was it? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad that you've done the research ahead of this chat. You know, we've only organised it a couple of weeks in advance. I appreciate you haven't had long. I was on one that's clearly left decent memories for you. It's left a mark on you, hasn't it? What was it called, Anthony? Unbelievable. Yeah, all of those hours I toiled away on that channel trying to make it engaging and interesting. Haven't got a clue. No, it was initially called, it was something that we did at Fremantle Media a long time ago now. It was initially called Chelsea Fans Channel is what it was initially called. We then started up our own one, which was called CFC Fan TV, which is still running under another name, which I think is now Blues Fans TV, which is Sophie Lewis, who was on 100% Chelsea, who, amazingly, you seem to get me mixed up with. But yeah, that channel's still running and doing very well, I think. I saw that it has passed over 100,000 subscribers.
Ironically, I did the research right. Extended and not you, but I didn't do the research right like that, obviously.
Well, the jury's out. We'll find out. You're probably going to introduce me as a character that I didn't play or something.
To be honest with you, I'm normally quite good on research, but I just misspoke.
No, don't worry, Anthony. It happens to all of us. I was on the kickoff fairly recently, and I said that Messi, Suarez, and Neymar had a good link up under Pep Guardiola. It happens to the best of us, my friends. Don't worry about it.
Either way, I'm not gonna say I'm not taking it out because it was quite funny. I thought it was quite funny anyway.
What, that one where I made the mistake?
No, I just said I'm not gonna edit it out because I thought it was quite funny.
Yeah. Oh no, you can't. You can't. You've got to embrace your mistakes. Also, if you try and do that, I'm going to tell everyone anyway. So there's no point.
So anyway, obviously you are a Chelsea supporter. So how do you think they're doing this season?
It hasn't been great. It hasn't been great. The rate at which we concede goals is worrying. Look, I love Frank Lampard so much, and I obviously have a bias and a natural desire to try and protect him. But I think he would be the first to say that it hasn't been quite right tactically. But equally, he can't be held responsible for individual errors. If Thiago Silva is going to let the ball roll under his foot at the Hawthorns, or Kurt Zouma is going to play a back pass about 10 yards too short at Stamford Bridge, Frank Lampard's standing on the touchline. What can he do?
Not a lot. When I think of Chelsea, I compare them. Do you know when you first get your driving license and you get a Lamborghini or something like that. Obviously, it's gonna take you a while to learn how to drive it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. There's a level of patience. Like Frank Lampard has been thrown in the deep end. There's no doubt about that. It's where we wanted him to be thrown. Everybody was unanimously in favour of that decision. But we're going to have to be patient. The club are going to have to demonstrate a level of patience that they have never demonstrated before. So I just hope that they do it, because they're really going to have to be very slow, very patient. Lampard's got a brand new team there, really, and it's going to have to take a bit of time to bed in.
To, to be to be honest with you, mate, I honestly don't think it will last like years and years, uh, like the great managers of the past. But I do think he lasts like about two more seasons, and then and then you have another and then you have another manager change again.
That's where we disagree, my friend. I think Lampard's in the job for a decade, and I pray that he is.
Well, well, we will see, mate. We will definitely see.
He certainly will. And yeah, look, I think Lampard's got what it takes. I just think that everyone, fans, club, players, everybody is going to have to be patient. There's going to be some bumps along the way, but ultimately, this story ends with Frank Lampard lifting the European Cup as manager of Chelsea.
On on the property opinion, but even even though even though so far, yeah, I prefer Scott Parker and the manager, to be honest. I know he's I know he's not I know he's not doing too well at the moment with Fulham, but I prefer Scott Parker, to be honest.
I mean, I don't know what you're betting. I feel like this is a bit of trolling. You picked Scott Parker, knowing that he played for Chelsea and went to Tottenham. You then picked Fulham, knowing that knowing that they're situated in the same borough as Chelsea, and you're trying to get to me. There is no way that you can genuinely believe that Scott Parker, who's currently bottom of the league with Fulham, or virtually bottom of the league with Fulham, is a better manager than Frank Lampard. I'm not having it. You're trolling me. You're doing a Hugh Wizzy on me.
I guess we would say. I would be willing to. I would be willing to bet in the next 5 years we will we would see who's better. We will see who's better.
Okay, I'll take that bet. No, genuinely, you want to do this? You really want to? Now you're in trouble, because now you've got to put your money where your mouth is. I bet you. I'll give you odds as well. I'll give you odds. I'll give you £10. You give me £1. Who wins a trophy first between Lampard and Parker?
Well, well, let's be honest. You'll probably win that bet.
Okay, good. I'm glad we agree.
But when you have world class players, you are more likely to win a trophy.
That's true. Okay, well, let's revisit this then. Let's have a catch up in what? How long are we giving Parker? I think Parker will be first manager sacked this year.
Well, if he is, uh, if he is, if he is, it doesn't say much. It doesn't say much about my football knowledge.
Oh no, I don't think it necessarily reflects that. Parker can be a good managers get sacked as well. You've got to remember, Chelsea sacked Carlo Ancelotti. It does happen.
Yeah, of course. But, but, but maybe I'm just being biased, because I think it would have been better for Frank Lampard to stay at Derby for one more season.
The trouble is with doing something like that, Anthony. If you football and life, in fact, it's about timing, isn't it? You get an opportunity, and you must make the most of that opportunity when it arises, regardless of the time. So, for example, Frank Lampard got the opportunity of being Chelsea manager now. He probably would concede that it was slightly earlier than he would have wanted it, but you can't pass that opportunity up. It may never come around again.
Yeah, I completely understand that, and as you said, from a personal level, I can understand why you would take the job. Because if somebody said to you, "Do you want to be the manager of Chelsea Football Club?" You're not going to turn it down. You're not going to turn it down, are you?
No, exactly. He has no option. He has absolutely no option but to take that job. Whether or not he felt like the timing was ideal is neither here nor there. It's the ideal job. Maybe it's not the ideal opportunity. In theory, he doesn't take that job. He then doesn't get Derby promoted, potentially. Chelsea then find a manager that wins the European Cup in his first year. Chelsea have a manager for a decade. He's out of work. He doesn't get that job ever again. He had to take the job at the time.
That that's a that's a that's a really fair point. And to be honest with you, if he didn't take the job, it would look really bad on him because it would look like he didn't have faith in himself, wouldn't it? If
Exactly.
he,
Yeah, you can't. There are certain jobs that you can't turn down. I mean, look, I'm not qualified to be the Chelsea manager. I know that. I don't have any CV that would suggest that I know what I'm doing. If I was offered the job, I'd take it though.
yeah, of course, like if I went off as a star in a film with with Brad Pitt, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna turn it down. I'm not gonna turn it down, even if
Exactly.
even even though I don't know one 1 minute of acting experience.
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, look, I believe Lampard will come good, but time will tell.
The one thing I would say that doesn't annoy me, like you guys, you know a lot of your goalkeepers over the past couple of seasons, they have not been good enough.
No, we haven't got a good. Our goalkeeper is atrocious. Kepa Arrizabalaga is not a Premier League goalkeeper. He's not. I actually would go a step further now. He's not good enough to be a number two goalkeeper.
I would say like third or fourth string at
Yeah,
best.
yeah. I don't think he gets a. There isn't a Premier League club that would have him as their first choice. He isn't a first choice goalkeeper in the Premier League. So Chelsea, who have aspirations of winning the Champions League and the Premier League, he's certainly not there. But he doesn't get a game at West Brom.
And do you think he'll even play? Do you think he would even play in the championship? I don't think he would.
I don't think he would. No, maybe that sort of level, maybe lower half of the championship. I think he's like a third choice Premier League goalkeeper. So whatever that means, whatever level you're at, to be a third choice keeper at Chelsea, where does that mean you should be playing?
Do you do you think he just got found out, or do you think
No, he's
or
always terrible, mate. Always terrible. There's no
eh,
way. Chelsea made a massive mistake buying him.
why do you think? Obviously, the football's a lot different in Spain. Do you think he just he just fits that style of football and not really the English style of football? Like, if you know what I mean.
Well, the thing is, Anthony, he managed to signed for Chelsea, massive deal, 70 million quid, huge contract. I think it was 7 years. He managed to get that off the back of one good season. Like he's already played far more games for Chelsea than he ever played for Bilbao. So with that in mind, Chelsea can't have done their due diligence on him because he hadn't really played any football.
I,
We panicked. It was a panic buy.
I, I don't always say, do 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 your due diligence before you start spending millions on something or somebody. Do your due due diligence.
Exactly. And I don't think we did with Ariza Balaga.
That's like buy that's like buying a house and then not and then not and then not going to see it before you buy it, isn't it?
It's exactly it. It's certainly like buying a house and not doing a survey on it. And that's what we did.
So what what was you what was your first ever game for Chelsea that you can remember going to?
One I remember, there's two that stand out from when I was young. It was one against Liverpool, I remember it vividly, actually. I remember where I was sitting and everything. Chelsea won the game, actually. A guy called Neil Shipperley scored the goal. Bruce Grobbelaar was in goal for Liverpool. And there was a lot of debate on the day whether the ball crossed the line. So that was one that I remember going to. I went with my dad to that one. But then my mum also took me. My parents went together. My mum also took me. So I kind of had two first games. And that was against Arsenal. And again, I remember it so well. I remember that more than I could tell you more about these two matches that we're discussing now than I could tell you about Chelsea versus Southampton. I almost forgot who we played. Chelsea versus Southampton on the weekend. The other one was against Arsenal. We lost 2-0. Ian Wright scored both goals, including a bicycle kick right in front of where I was sitting. So I think that would have been the season 93, 94, something like that.
Do you know, football nowadays? Do you think the football? Obviously, it's a lot different nowadays. With all the technology in the game, and I know you said before that you're not a fan of VAR when it's not done correctly. But as you've just said, you remember a lot more from them games than you do any from the game at the weekend. Do you think do you think the magic has gone from football?
Yeah, I do actually. I mean, you mentioned VAR, and I think that's probably a good place to start. What football once was, not that long ago either, a couple of decades, is very different now. I don't know if it's necessarily lost its magic. It's lost its magic to me, but I don't necessarily think it's lost its magic. I think it's now just a different game. I think what it used to be compared to what it is, it's not quite, the overlap isn't there. I mean, VAR, everything in life has positives and negatives, right? Everything. With VAR, I feel like it takes away so much more than it gives. Of course, it contributes. Of course, there's examples where it's done something worthwhile. But overall, if you take in the full package of VAR, I just think that it removes so much more than it gives.
Like at the weekend, for example, I think I think I think obviously if you want to be technical, it was offside, but I don't think like what I'm basically trying to say is I think it I don't want to say it ruined the Merseyside derby because I don't think it I don't think it did, but I do think obviously obviously it it took away from the game.
Oh, you just dropped out, Anthony. Can you hear me all right? I can't hear you. I can see that you're talking, but I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Can you give me a thought? Can you?
Can you
There you
hear
go.
me?
You're back. There you
It
go.
was it was me, mate.
Ah,
I, so did you want to say? Did you want to say no or not?
I heard. I think it was a bit about Henderson, wasn't it? About Henderson's goal, about whether VAR ruined the derby.
Yeah, basically, basically I thought I don't want to say it ruined the derby. Obviously, I think it took away from the derby. Because instead of, instead of talking about a great game of football, we ended up talking about VAR.
Yeah,
VAR.
yeah. I think we. I think look, I don't think you what you said. You then kind of caught yourself and said that it wasn't that. I think you were right first time. I think you were right. I think it did ruin the derby. We were ruined. We were robbed as a football loving nation. We were robbed of a last minute winner in a derby in the most dramatic of circumstances, scored by the captain. Yeah, it totally ruined it. That would be that goal from Henderson would be up there forever. Like, think about it. Like, I can think off the top of my head of huge goals in that game, huge goals in that derby. I can remember Phil Jagielka scoring a last minute equaliser at Anfield. I can remember Gary McAllister scoring a free kick in the last minute at Goodison. I can remember Duncan Ferguson scoring. I can remember Steven Gerrard scoring virtually every time he played, including a fantastic one at Goodison at the other end to where the away fans hit, where he kind of took it wide and pinged it across. These goals live with you forever. Jordan Henderson should be in that conversation, and he's not. He's been robbed of an opportunity to be in that conversation.
I couldn't agree more, mate. And another thing I would say, if you're gonna use it, if you're gonna use it for that, why not? Why not double check the Jordan Henderson, Farrell, Van Dijk? Because I think that should have been sent off. Because if it was anywhere else on the pitch, he would have been.
Well,
It was,
they got it wrong. This is my issue with VAR. It doesn't always work either. Would you? Because you know what happened there? They checked the offside. They were checking whether it was offside, irrespective of whether there was a foul after the offside.
yeah, to be honest, mate, I did forget like that. But thank you for reminding me now, because
My pleasure.
I did forget like the offside. But I do think it was a dangerous challenge what Henderson done.
Pickford.
What what did I just say?
No, you're right. I think you said Henderson, or I heard it as Henderson because I was thinking about him.
I meant Pickford, way of college.
Pickford's challenge was a disgrace. Absolutely, Pickford's challenge was it's tricky. They're both Jordans, man. It throws anyone. It was an outrageously bad tackle. It was reckless, and it's taken out one of the best players in the game. It's possibly, I would even say, probably now derailed Liverpool's title challenge. I genuinely think it's that big a deal. I don't quite know what the answer is, because I also don't believe that you go back and retrospectively ban people, and equally you can't prove intent. There probably wasn't any intent, but the whole thing is a mess, and VAR hasn't helped. So what's the point in it?
Yeah, I completely agree. And what I also don't like, I don't like the fact that the referee sometimes with certain referees they are too reliant. They are too reliant on it, and then there's other times where other referees refuse to use it. So they just need to get they just need to get the balance right between when to use it and when not to use it.
Yeah, exactly. I think they just need to. It just doesn't work in the current way. It needs to be looked at, because I think what it once was is it was meant to be that football was this brilliant game, and we were going to make it even better because VAR technology was going to adapt to what it saw on the pitch. What's happening now is ridiculous, because we're kind of adapting football to fit in with VAR. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Do you think? I personally think they brought it in too quickly. To be honest, I think they should have had a great. I think they should have had a period where they tried it out for a couple of games, even there over the next couple of seasons, so they could work out all the little issues, so to speak, rather than just putting it all in at once. I know they tried it in the FA Cup games a couple of seasons before they put it in the.
Yeah, I think you're right, mate. They need to do something like that, but it certainly needs to be looked at, because it's removing so much enjoyment from the game, and it isn't replacing it with accuracy.
And I know, but obviously when you look at other sports like cricket, they do it really well because obviously they have obviously they have the video replay, and then they have somebody actually review, reviewing it as well, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. But also, the comparisons that are drawn between sports, that doesn't always make sense to me, because different sports have different approaches. Like what works on a cricket pitch may not work on a tennis court, and may not work on a basketball court, and may not work on a football pitch. Each game is individual, and simply saying, well, Hawkeye works brilliantly at the tennis doesn't mean that it translates to football. And I think we've seen enough examples where technology has been proved not to work and amplify the game.
That that's a fair point because obviously at a cricket match it's a lot more time. It's like you don't have you don't have you don't have 20 23 players running around, do you, on the pitch? On
Yeah,
the pitch?
exactly. The jeopardy is less. It's a slower paced
Yeah.
game. Yeah, look, there is a comparison to be drawn, but it isn't a final comparison. It isn't. It isn't. It works here, therefore it must work there.
I love it. Did I, so I do want to ask you about your acting days. Did, so, did, so what made you want to get into acting initially?
It was something that I did when I was quite young. I did it sort of through my childhood. I was always very interested in the arts. I always enjoyed doing it. I went to a few classes, and then ultimately was offered. I did a film when I was quite young. A film with Robert De Niro played Frankenstein, and I was in the film very early in the film. And yeah, so it was Kenneth Branagh directed and adapted Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, and I got my sort of first taste of working in that industry and loved it. I sort of fell in love with it completely, and always kept going with it, and was doing it all through school, all through university, and then for about a decade after university as well. And then I just didn't get any work. I had a really bad year in about like a lot of people. It was after the crash, so 08, 09, maybe 10, around that period, just didn't work for me at all. So I ended up working in TV, like behind the scenes, putting together like as a TV producer. And from there, made a transition into digital, which is how I ended up working with Brian, and ultimately how we became friends.
To be, to be, to be honest with you, like behind the scenes, like TV producing and things like that. I always find that stuff interesting. I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people like to be behind the camera, but I'm more interested what happened behind the camera. To be honest,
Oh, you prefer being behind the camera. You don't love the limelight.
let, let me let me reword that. Obviously, I enjoy being in front of the camera because otherwise we wouldn't be doing this interview now. But I'm not like one of these people that doesn't care about what happens behind. I
Right.
I like to basically I like to know it all.
Yeah, I think there's value in that. I think there's value in that. My wife works behind the scenes in TV. Like she's a TV producer, and she does a lot of really good work. All the TV shows, all the kind of standard comedy entertainment TV shows that presumably you watch. My wife often works in them. We met. We were working on Big Brother together.
Uh, to be honest with you, like that I can imagine you being on Big Brother. I think you got the personality for
That's
it.
very kind. Not on it. I just got to say, whoa, whoa, whoa,
I,
whoa. Behind it, we were producing the show. We weren't.
I
I
know,
was, I was what's called a researcher. So
I
in
know,
TV,
I know what you, I know what you're saying, but I'm saying, I think you would have been amazing if you were on it.
on it. Well, yeah, maybe one day. You never know if they bring it back on Channel 5.
To be, so as a researcher, was that a quite entertaining job, or was it a quite boring job at
No, it was
times?
good. It was good. I had a really good time on Big Brother. I did Big Brother for 4 seasons. So starting in 2012. And it was just after Chelsea won the European Cup. Actually, my first day, I got back from Munich on a Sunday. Monday started on Big Brother, And yeah, it was good. It was really fun. And because then it went into Celebrity Big Brother. So my celebrities were Neil Ruddock was one of my celebrities in there, who obviously played for Tottenham and Liverpool. But it's all nearly 10 years ago now. But no, Big Brother is all filmed in Elstree, which is in North London. Where are you based?
I'm ba- I'm based in Birmingham, England, so Birmingham.
Are you a Birmingham fan?
I'm a bit, I'm a Villa, I'm a Villa follower. I wouldn't say I'm a fan as such, because I
Well,
don't.
you're very welcome to Ross Barkley. You're welcome.
I, I don't. Obviously, obviously, you guys were obviously he didn't fit in well with you guys. Did he, like the way you guys play? I don't think you fancied him, did you?
I was very surprised he left, mate. I like him. I think he's a good player. Look, he's not an elite player, but he's a very, very good Premier League player. And I think Villa got themselves a gem. I'm just going to reposition Anthony because I've realised I haven't charged my computer up. I'm just going to stand over here. No, I think Villa are very lucky to get Ross Barkley, and obviously Grealish and Barkley playing together. It's on fire.
Obviously, obviously, last night he got the win. He got the winner in the 94th minute.
Big win. Mate, it's not surprising. He's a very good player. And for one reason or another, it didn't quite fit at Chelsea. But look, Barkley's an excellent player, and one of the things he's so good at, which is so valuable, he's good for a goal. He's one of those midfielders. Like the big problem with Chelsea in the middle at the moment, no one scores anything. You know, you've got Jorginho, Kante, Kovacic. At best, they'll score 10 between them. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. When you think about what Lampard, Essien, Ballack used to contribute, probably 60 goals between those three. And these lot will get 10.
Do, do you think? Do you think? Do you think at Chelsea there was too much pressure on him? Because obviously Chelsea is a way bigger club than Everton was. So do you think there was too much? Do you think there was too much expectation on him, so to speak?
Potentially. I mean, first thing, you've got to be careful. Will this be going on YouTube?
Yeah.
You need to be very careful because you're going to have some irate Everton fans in your comments. They'll be calling you all sorts because they don't like that. What you just said there. I mean, I agree with you, but what you just said there, you'll have some irate toffees telling you know nothing about football if you say things like that. So I'll be looking for those comments and yeah, I'll be replying to any that come in. but yeah, look, Ross Barkley's a very good player. When he left, he was brilliant at Everton. Obviously, that's why Chelsea were interested. When he arrived at Chelsea, he did very well for patches. There was a time when he was scoring big goals for us. Last minute winner against Manchester United, last minute equaliser against Manchester United, that sort of thing. It then went a bit cold, but I didn't expect him to leave. I really didn't expect him to leave, like at the moment, because he offers something in that midfield that nobody else offers, and that is goals.
Obviously, it's a loan deal right now. But do you think it'll become a permanent one, or do you think you guys will have him back?
Well, if he keeps playing the way that he's playing, there is no doubt that look, he's going to play himself into the England team and probably the Chelsea team. Look at how Chelsea are playing, and look at how Chelsea's midfield are playing, and look at how he's playing, and Villa's midfield. It's almost impossible. It is impossible for Frank Lampard to not be looking at what's going on at Villa and thinking, if he carries on like this, we get him back in January.
If anything, you'll probably take him back and then take Greenish at the same time.
Sorry, what was that?
I said, if anything, you'll probably take him back and then have Greenish at the same time.
Well, that would do me. I love Grealish. I would love that. I think Grealish is the man. I think he is absolutely elite. I think he's such a good player. I think Southgate deserves to be sacked simply for not selecting him. I would do anything to get Jack Grealish at Chelsea. He is the perfect midfielder. I can't believe that Manchester United didn't sign him, you know. He feels like such a Manchester United player, doesn't he?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think Man United. I don't think Man United know what day of the week it is.
And long may
Like,
that continue.
obviously they got the quality players at a football club. I don't think they know what day of the week it is. To be honest with
Yeah.
you.
And it is beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah. When I was growing up, obviously I would imagine I'm a lot younger than you are. I'm 24, so
Yeah, all right, mate. No need to rub it in. No need to show off. Obviously, as well. Obviously. Mate, I don't look that bad, do I? Obviously, I'm a lot younger than you. Thank you very much.
you're 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 very experienced, I would say.
Mate, my ego's taken a battering on this channel. Obviously, I'm a lot younger than you. I'll have to put on a bit of the under eye serum.
Yeah, but you know, my point was when I was growing up, like Man United used to be the benchmark. Cause you had players like Ronaldo and Tevez and Rooney. That that front that front.
Yeah, it was brilliant. That front three were incredible. But it's gone wrong, hasn't it? And long may that continue.
Yeah, uh, for some reason I keep I keep leaning on the button to mute myself.
That's all right. That's all right. I thought you just bored of me.
Nah, mate, nah. So obviously you did a kickoff basically every week when you're available. So how did you start appearing on there?
Oh, that's a very good question. So I started as a guest long time ago when they were based in Farringdon. So they've moved studios. So a long time ago, which is probably now maybe 3 years ago, I was a guest. So whenever Chelsea had a big game, they'd kindly get me on. I've been friends with Brian and Lawrence. I've worked with Brian for a long time. We've become friends over the part since kickoff, really. But Lawrence, because he's based in London, Lawrence and I have been mates probably for about 5 years now. And Lawrence and I, yeah, so we work together at various different companies. You know, in certain industries, even when you're freelance, you forever cross paths with the same people. You constantly, wherever you go, they end up, and wherever they go, you end up.
Yeah.
And that's how Lawrence and I, so Lawrence, I don't know, Lawrence works at Football Daily, which is now owned by Sky. Occasionally, I'd be in at Football Daily, so we'd see each other. We worked at Ball Street together. We worked at Fremantle together. We worked with the True Geordie together. So our friendship blossomed over sort of those 5 years. And then the producer of the show, or the former producer of the show, was also a very good friend of mine, Brian's, Lawrence's, a guy called Adam Boltwood.
Yeah.
So he would always get me on, and ultimately, it meant an awful lot to me. I was genuinely touched. About a year ago, I think it's only a year, I was there to do a show as a guest, and Brian and Lawrence kind of took me aside and just asked me if I would consider becoming a regular on the kickoff rather than a guest. So I weighed it up. I took my time. No, of course, I was overjoyed immediately. I said yes. And no, thankfully, it's meant an awful lot to me. Brian and Lawrence's contribution to my career will never be forgotten by me. They've really helped me out.
So you know, so I think, well, as somebody that watching most weeks, yeah, I think as you add quite a lot to the panel, so to speak. I just like to hear what you have to say. I do think you just a load of bollocks.
Not the first person to say that. Get on very well with Lawrence.
A load of bollocks sometimes.
Yeah, it's been known. My wife would probably agree. I mean, yeah, even I would agree on that one. Oh, hang on. I think she's just coming in. Victoria, say hello.
Hello.
That's me. That's my wife.
I can't hear you, but hello.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just nipping out. I hope he's doing well.
I'm doing. Am I doing okay?
Yeah, you're doing better than me.
Doing better than him.
I don't believe it.
She doesn't believe you. Brilliant. Have a lovely day.
Hey, you too. I'll see
Give
you
me
in
a
a minute. Yeah.
She's made a mess and leaves. Don't worry, I'll clean it up. But yeah, no. What's the kickoff? It's a genuine joy to be a part of. And do you know what? Even trying to remain impartial about it, I think it's a great product. I think it's a brilliant show. I really do. I think it's insightful. I think the guests are good. The production values, as you know, we discussed earlier. I work in TV. I did work in TV. My wife still works in TV. The production values on the kickoff are elite. They are the same level as working on a TV show. If you work on Strictly Come Dancing, you get a call sheet, you get the same sort of protocols that you get working on the kickoff. It's genuinely that high.
As I said in the beginning, I really enjoy like the behind the scenes stuff. So when I had Lawrence on, that was one of the first things I asked him was, how do you shoot it? How do you film it and things like that?
Yeah, he's the man for that conversation. He is a genuine whiz kid. He really is. Like his knowledge of. I'm going to sound really. I can't contribute enough to this conversation, sadly, because all I can do is I can tell you lenses. He knows everything about lenses. He knows everything about cameras. He has a genuine passion for all of the above. He spends fortunes of his disposable income on cameras and stuff. And the team that Lawrence works very closely with, that run the YouTube channel, that run, make sure that it all goes out. They're whiz kids, but they're also charming. The team I cannot speak highly enough of the kickoff. But if you have a passion for that side of things, I've just got enough power in this, I can sit back down. If you have a genuine passion for that behind the scenes cameras, techie side of the industry, I'm not your man. I'm fairly famous within our friendship circle of being appalling at this sort of stuff. Like they find it funny. They find it funny how bad I am at this. But Lawrence, and then there's a couple of other people that I'm sure if you really wanted to talk to someone about it, the guy who runs the gallery, I think he's got a YouTube channel. Well, he has got a YouTube channel as well. He's a charming chap called Alex Petit. He could definitely give you some insight into the way they make it work. But Lawrence is also flawless on that kind of knowledge.
Because as I said, I do love behind the scenes, but I obviously do enjoy being in front of the camera as well. It's like it's a bit of like a double-edged sword, because I imagine you can't really do both.
You're greedy. You want it all.
You have to be one. You have to be one or the other. So it's a bit difficult to really make my mind up what I really want to do with
I don't think you have to pick. Actually, I think I made a joke then when I said you're greedy. I think you can be. Lawrence is a good example of somebody who, like, when I was an actor, they call it a triple threat. Someone who's good at all of the caveats of the industry, and Lawrence is certainly that. But there's no reason why you can't be as well. Have a chat with Alex and Lawrence, discuss, learn more about the editorial side of things, and then get yourself set up and be in front of the camera, stealing all the limelight from everyone else.
Obviously, I can verbally communicate, obviously, but sometimes depending on certain days, sometimes it's a bit more difficult to me. It's a bit more difficult for me to be verbal on certain things. Like I obviously like football, but I wouldn't say I'm knowledgeable enough about it to the point where I could do a show like that, and people would find it interesting.
I don't think you should have that level of self-deprecation about it, Anthony. I mean, if everybody, and this stems from the super YouTubers, the likes of the True Geordie. if everybody had that element of self-doubt and asked themselves that question, nobody ever would put their opinion out there. Because, of course, somebody disagrees with you. If you say an emphatic statement, somebody disagrees with it. When Brian talks passionately about the brilliance of Alan Shearer, I happen to agree with him. But there are plenty of people that would say Alan Shearer isn't in the top 3 Premier League strikers. You don't need to caveat it all with self-doubt. When Brian tells you Alan Shearer is the best striker the Premier League's ever seen, he doesn't doubt it to begin with. They're your opinions. You hold strong to them. Don't bend to anyone else's will.
I guess my problem is half the time I don't believe my own opinion.
Well, that's a bit of a problem. Yeah, you got to sort that out. You got to believe it yourself. Yeah, no one else is going to believe it. Yeah. But maybe discard what I said before. Yeah, once sort it out in your head, and then make sure that you go in strong. But you've got to believe it yourself.
Because I did make a football video over the weekend, basically talking like the Merseyside derby and obviously things like that. And it was a good video for me, yeah. But when I look back on it now, I think just truly believe what I was saying. Like was I convinced in what I was saying?
Well, that if not that you need any advice from me, you're totally capable of having a phenomenal career without any of my input. But my 2 pence worth on that, I would say that you should know your opinion wholeheartedly before you present it. So for example, we were just talking about Grealish, weren't we? And I said what a talent I think he is, and how I think that England could almost build a team around him, and how I think that he needs to be playing for a club. I thought he'd go to Manchester United, but I think he needs to be playing for a club in the Champions League. It would be slightly wild and could cause mayhem if I were to say all that and not actually think it. So I'd work out where you sit on the debate, but then once you know where you sit, don't bend for anyone.
A good example of that. The Aguero incident. I would like to know where you stand on it. But I thought it was really inappropriate and it was really awkward. And I don't think if it was a male official, I don't think he would have done it, to be honest.
I mean, I think there was a part of it that looked fairly uncomfortable, but I think that we need to kind of drill down into what we're suggesting. I haven't heard Aguero mention it. I've heard Guardiola come out and defend him. I don't think you should put your hands on an official. That's the issue, isn't it? I don't think you should be putting your hands on an official.
That's basically what I said. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but that's basically what I said in that video. I said, look, no matter whether it's a male or female, you should have put your hand on an official. Period.
Yeah, I think. Look, without hearing from. I mean, you need to hear from Sean Macy and you need to hear from Aguero and find out, because presumably something was said in that exchange. So you need to find out what was said. But I think the person who we need to hear from here is Sean Macy. But my overarching opinion where officials are concerned is you probably shouldn't be touching any official in any capacity.
If you can't touch them, why? Because when they swarm the referee, yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. I just don't think it's the right. I just don't think you need to do it. To be honest, I think it's really enough. When somebody's gone in really hard on the player in that yeah, and they all swarm the.
But there's that famous image of Beckham and Roy Keane and everybody really, and And the referee in that exchange, I think it might have been Durkin. Oh, who was it? Maybe it wasn't Durkin. Well, anyway, whoever the referee was, he was practically running away. And that's obviously not acceptable.
Yeah, so I think if you can allow the player to touch the referees, how can you really reprimand them for surrounding the referees when you're saying it's okay for them to touch the referees?
Yeah, exactly. No, that's exactly it. Anthony, my only reservation is it's getting to 11:30. I've got a meeting, and you still haven't mentioned my YouTube channel. I'm here to nick all your subs, man. You haven't mentioned it.
Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot.
You lured me in here.
Do you want me to be honest?
You didn't even know I had one, did you?
Yeah, I did because I've been watching your videos over the weekend.
Well, you say you have, but maybe you've been watching videos on 100% Chelsea. You wouldn't know the difference.
I have, because I sent you a screenshot of me subscribed.
That's true. You did do that, and I appreciate it immensely. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Do you want to promote your YouTube channel?
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel now. Come and subscribe. How did I do?
I will leave the link down below.
Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Send me this through when it's live. I'll push it out on Twitter.
I have a bit annoyed. Because you got 5K for doing nothing. I was like, you wanker.
Yeah, true. I can't disagree with that. That's exactly what happened. But yeah, look, I'm going to have to go because I'm going to have my boss calling me in 2 minutes, and I have no idea what he's going to want.
So thank you for coming on.
It's an honour. It's an honour and a privilege. Thank you.
Speak to you soon.
I can't wait. I'll see you soon.
See ya.
All the best, Anthony. Thank you, mate.
And you, mate. Bye.
Yeah.
So thank you for watching, guys. And please like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. And I will speak to you later. And I apologise for my stuttering. I don't think I'll be that bad, but still, I apologise for my stuttering. I don't know why. In the interviews, I just get really nervous that I'm speaking too slowly, so I try and speed up. So I end up slurring my words a little bit. So I apologise, and I will speak to you later.